गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। When we function in this world, our progress is required on both the fronts. The prosperity in the outer world and the peace in the inner world. So, how can we achieve this? Do we have a choice or we have no choice? Now here is the technique the Lord gives us in the 14th and the 15th verse, which we just started yesterday. Annat bhavanti bhutani parjanyat anna sambhavaha yajnat bhavati parjanyaha yajna karma samudbhavaha karma brahmodbhavam vidhi brahmakshara samudbhavam tasmat sarvagatam brahma nityam yajne pratishthitam. Today, in the evening, somebody came to talk to me and he has asked one question. Question is, when we are functioning at the level of intuition, that time, is it the individual mind that is functioning or it is the cosmic mind that is functioning? And if the cosmic mind is functioning, how does it function and how do we know whether it is the cosmic mind or the individual mind that is functional at a particular moment? That was the question. Now see, whenever the thoughts are beginning from the position of an individuality, those thoughts are belonging to the individual mind. And when the thoughts are transcending the individuality, then to that extent those thoughts are originating from the cosmic mind. For example, when I say that I have done so much but nobody appreciates me, and I become frustrated. So this thought has originated from the individual mind, no doubt about it. When we do so many things and something goes wrong somewhere, and in spite of that we don't get disturbed. This is how it is. Except, do not get disturbed on any issue. And when such an undisturbed mind starts functioning, then it is in tune with the cosmic mind. So, to attain freedom from the individual mind and be in tune with the cosmic mind, is there any technique or it is a monopoly of some selected few in this world? Can we attain that? What is the technique? Now this technique is spoken of in these two verses. Now the teacher gives us the picture of our life. There are 6 steps. First step, I'll simply translate it and then I'll tell you the wrong meaning, which will think it is right, and then I'll tell you the right meaning, and then you will think it was really wrong. So first, Annat bhavanti bhutani. Bhutani, beings are born out of food. So we take the food and the food is converted into the seeds in the parents. The seeds unite together and the next generation is born. Very simple. Scientific. अन्नाद भवन्ति भूतानि, पर्जन्याद अन्न संभवः, and the food production is possible when there are rains. This is also very scientific. Now third step. Yajnat bhavati parjanyah. And when the parjanya, the rains have to come, we require the yajna. Isn't it? In Tamil Nadu, when there are no rains, the government has appointed the priests. Kindly invoke that Lord Indra by doing some yajna, so the rains will come. And immediately we take that issue. See, the scriptures are written by the Brahmins, and they say that the yajna can be performed only by the Brahmins, and this is how these people were making us slave throughout life. See how wrong we go in thinking. So yajnat bhavati parjanyaha. By the yajna, the rains come. And how the yajna is performed? Yajna karma samudbhavaha. Only by imagination nothing happens. We have to work, then only the yajna can take place. Then, next step. Karma brahmodbhavam viddhi. How the karma is done? Here the word Brahma means the scriptures, Vedas. So, what is the type of karma to be done, how it is to be done, all is given up in details in the scriptures. Karma Brahmodbhavam Viddhi. And Brahma Akshara Samudbhavam. Who has given the scriptures? Scriptures are not the product of the human mind. Please understand this. Brahma Akshara Samudbhavam. Whatever is told in our scriptures is not the intellectual gymnastics of some funny characters. No. Brahma Akshara Samudbhavam. Tasmat, therefore, Sarvagatam Brahma, the supreme reality, Nityam Yajne Pratishtitam. Therefore, whenever we function, conduct the yajna, in that yajna, it is the Lord who is invoked. So this is a simple meaning. Word to word traditional meaning, which you will see in all the traditional expositions. And now we are non-traditional. Non-traditional means, like Bhagwan Sri Krishna was non-traditional. How he was non-traditional? Just before coming, I was reading one small booklet. हम दो हमारे दो, बाकी वृद्धाश्रम जाने दो. Isn't it? So, Bhagwan Ramchandra married one. And Kanhaiya said, why one? So, 16,108. Non-traditional. So, all the words of the scriptures need to be reinterpreted according to the situation and time. Very important. If we are not able to reinterpret and rewrite the meaning of the same old mantras, they will never be accepted by the mind at that particular time. This is what all the great masters are doing. See, the Valmiki Ramayana or all our scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, it was available earlier, but when Tulsidas ji came, he has restated the whole story of Ramayana for the benefit of the people who cannot understand Sanskrit. Similarly, Santa Gyaneshwar has reinterpreted the whole thought of Bhagavad Gita for the benefit of the people about 700 and odd years before. All the great masters arrive on the scene of this world only for this purpose. And therefore, Every master, whatever he has said at a given period of time is required for that people. And therefore nothing is wrong. So when Madhvacharya Bhagwan said the Dvaita philosophy, when the Ramanujacharya says the Vishishta Advaita, when Shankaracharya says the Advaita, all are essential because to whom he was addressing, they can understand only that language. See, the question is not whether this is right or wrong. The question is, are the people benefited or not? That is the important thing. The other day, one person asked me this question, Swamiji, do you believe in naturopathy, allopathy, or homeopathy, or Ayurveda? I said, I believe in health. Simple. How does it matter which pathy you take? What matters is, are you healthy or not? Or go on insisting, no, I believe only in naturopathy. So in the morning I start for grazing in my house. Why? In naturopathy, only the wheat grass is to be eaten. And I don't apply the soap, all the chemicals and pollution. So I take the mitti and mud bath and sit there like a buffalo. Look here. Important is not the way. Important is, are you reaching the goal or not? That is important. So, when we take the various interpretations of all the scriptures, they are necessary for the people of that time. Now here, we'll try to understand. Annat bhavanti bhutani. Bhutani means living beings. Those people who are unable to live in prosperity, are they living? Think. Tulsidas Ji in Ramcharitmanas tells, there are 14 people who are considered to be the sinful people. Which are those people 14 who are sinful? One of them is a poor man. Poverty is the worst sin that we suffer from. See? If you want your voice to be heard by the world, you have to have guts and wealth. Sarve guna kanchanam ashrayanti. When a man has lot of money, he is dharmatma. He is wise. He may be otherwise in reality. But a rich man's wisdom is a virtual reality, not actual. Think. Therefore, when there is wealth power, we are right. In the same manner, real life is lived not in poverty, but in prosperity. Therefore, the first statement, Annat bhavanti bhutani. And what is Anna? Anna is availability of the consumable products in our life. See, today morning I was going somewhere, I went to one shop. Somebody took me and I told him, I said, look here, in India for the first time I have gone to a shopping place. I had never gone so far. Except once I went for inauguration of the shopper stop. From thereafter I stopped everything. So, when I went there, I saw so many things, most of them imported from China, Korea, and all other countries. And then when I was looking around, I was just thinking, I said, hey, look here, do you remember earlier days, maybe 15 years or so, those people who have had the opportunity to move around the world, you go and see in their houses, all the imported stuff as the dolls and the horses and dogs and cats and the fairies, beautifully they will be decorating the various places. And when you go in such houses, oh, such a beautiful place. Yes, when I went to Korea, I got it. That is also so beautiful. Oh, when I went to Switzerland, I just got it like that. This is how we develop our personality and ego. Hey, this is what I am. Today all those things are available at a throwaway price. Buy one and take 3 free. Now, that is what we call now our India also has become prosperous because all things are available easily. See the number of cars, number of two-wheelers, everything that is what is called as life. So, life is worth living when you have got all the comforts freely and easily available. First principle of life. Therefore, our religion does not talk of poverty to be glorified. We should remove that from our head. Being a religious person means simple living, high thinking. Under this disguise, it is shabby living and stupid thinking. That is not prosperity. That is not a religious life. Annat bhavanti bhutani, first principle. Second thing, parajanyat anna sambhavaha. How can the goods be easily available to us? Parajanya, switch on and all the prosperity will fall down. No. Parajanya means when we are all ready to work together for the common goal of prosperity. See? Then only all the things, wealth can be produced. Please understand, trade is not the means of production of wealth. Trading is only the misappropriation of wealth. You buy something for 20 rupees and sell it for 200 rupees and become rich. That is not the way to generate wealth in a society. Now see, today China has captured market throughout the world, whether it is soft toys, whether these are beautiful dolls, anything you say. Today when I went to that shop, I saw one Bhagwan Sri Krishna's statue. So cute and so beautiful. So when I went, I lifted it. I said, hey, it's so nice. Who made it? That salesperson says, Swamiji, this is from China. The Chinese Krishna was better than the Indian brand. So attractive, so delicate, and exactly what is described in Bhagavad Mahapuran. And when I lifted, I said, how much? It must be very costly. I thought maybe a few thousand, like 5, 10, 20,000. Maybe kitne hazar ka hai? Swamiji, 250. I said, if you are giving me for 250, please tell me how much you get it. I am not going to cut down your thing. I am not going to buy. I just want to increase my general knowledge. He said, Swamiji, I get it for 180. If he is getting for 180, how much will be the wholesale cost? Hardly few rupees. See? How they are able to do that? Because parajanya. The goal is start economic warfare. In our country, so many businesses are totally closed down because they cannot compete with the finished product that you get. Even our raw material is expensive than that. Therefore, here Bhagwan tells, Parajanyat anna sambhavaha. Unless we work with a total spirit of togetherness, with a goal to produce extreme wealth, life cannot be prosperous. So, second stage, Parajanyat anna sambhavaha. Now, how the Parajanya will come? Yajnat bhavati Parajanyaha. If we want to bring this philosophy and the psychological quality of the human mind in our country or in any society, what is required? We have to act in a spirit of yajna. Yesterday I explained to you what yajna is. Yajna is a spirit where we all work together for a common goal with a readiness to sacrifice if it is called for. Then only we are able to really work together to produce wealth. Yajnat bhavati parjanyaha. And yajna, how the yajna can happen? हमारी मांगे पूरी करो. No. Yajna karma samudbhavaha. You have to work hard for that. See how important it is. Today again I will quote these two, Kerala and West Bengal. The other day I was in Calcutta crossing a road, on a crossroad, small, not very big road, and I saw 4, 5, 6 youngsters, 6-footers, very healthy, very nice, argumentative, and talking something on some issue. I went and finished my job and came after 4 hours. And on that crossroad, those fellows were still standing and arguing and discussing. How can you afford to waste your time on these issues? Only when you are not wanting to work. Very important. Therefore, if we really want to produce yajnat bhavati parjanyaha, yajna karma samudbhavaha, only by talking nothing happens in this world. We have to work for it. See, there is one person, I don't know who is that fellow, always he phones and eats my head. Constantly. And I have tried all the languages, tried to tell him in decent language. Once I have banged in left and right. But he keeps on hanging on. So again today, so I told him, tell me which job I should do. This question he asked me at least 365 times. So I told him, don't do any job. Then what spiritual practice I should do? I said, don't do spiritual practice. Then you start physically working something. Run for no reason. See, this is so important. Those people who get depressed, dejected, they are something like this, you know. You must have seen some children, this is a defect in some children, they are unable to speak, they stammer. Now why stammering takes place, you know? There was one boy in Ahmedabad, he came one day and asked me, Swamiji, I want to learn to give talks as you give. Where did you take training? I said, I didn't get training anywhere because I stopped talking, the Lord takes over. He said, no, I want to learn. What is the technique? I said, what is your problem? He said, when I want to start talking, I immediately get choked and the stammering comes. And as a result, I get inferiority complex. How to come out of it? So I told him this technique. Technique is like this. Start reading anything, newspaper, magazine, loudly. Not in the mind. Stammering happens when the mind and the speech are not able to synchronize. You want to say so many things by your mind, but with that speed, your speech instrument doesn't work. Then the stammering comes. Similarly, if we really want to achieve something in life, only imagination and thinking will not yield results. And therefore, yajna karma samudbhavaha. After we have learned and understood the principle and the philosophy, it has to be translated in our life through action. Unless the philosophy is translated in life through action, it does not become wisdom. Philosophy expressed in life is called as wisdom. And when wisdom is told to others, it is called as philosophy. How simple it is. It is so simple. It's not difficult. So, yajna karma samudbhavaha. We have to learn that selfish existence is not the existence at all. Now, question comes, which karma should we do? Should we do anything that we like? Here is a most important control, enforce on our activities. If we are given freedom to act without guarding instructions, we will start living the animalistic life. See, this small town I went this time to Karnataka. Last time when I went, a small, maybe hardly 3 or 4 cars can go, 3 cars can go, such a small road. There were no dividers and nothing of the sort. This time when I went, the small road divided. I was so surprised to see. And then I said, hey, why is small village? Isme bhi divider dal diya. He said, Swamiji, here people have no sense of traffic rules, and anybody goes anywhere, and every day there is a traffic jam. So what they have done, once the barrier is there, you can't take your car over there. So you are bound to be here. So these kinds of rules are for whom? Those human beings who behave like animals. If you see the Western world, there only the lines are there. Red lines, never parking. Yellow, continuous, unbroken lines, you cannot cross that. If there are 2 parallel solid lines, there is no question of overtaking. These are rules written on the paper and painted on the road and practiced by the human beings. See, in our place, even if after this road there is a house, the car will go above the house, overtake him. Therefore, if we have to work, if we have to act, we require some discipline. So that discipline is introduced in our life by certain rules and regulations. Which are the rules and regulations which are acceptable and accepted as discipline? Those rules and regulations which are meant for the good of totality. When we are told, drive your car on one side, do not overtake, do not honk, these rules are not meant for troubling any particular section of a society. They are meant for everybody. But when we do not observe those rules, the same activity leads to a calamity. So I have a driving license, very good, drive the car, but you don't have a driving license to drive the way you want. You have to obey the rules and the regulations of the traffic, then only your driving license is valid. So freedom has to be guarded freedom. Similarly, if we are living our life is lived with the do's and don'ts as given by the scriptures. Now be very attentive. Scriptures give rules and regulations for not only the human being, but that embodied soul or the jiva who has come in this form and he is going to get out of this form into another body. And therefore, scriptural rules and regulations are meant for guiding the life of a soul from the past to the present and from the present to the future. That is the purpose of the scriptural injunctions in life. Scriptures are not our enemies. Scriptures don't tell that you hate somebody. This is the gift of our politicians. When Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, these 4 principles are enunciated in our scriptures. Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam gunakarma vibhagashaha. When Bhagavan says, I have classified the humanity on the basis of their quality and ability of activity into 4 classes. That does not mean somebody is good, somebody is bad and hate each other. This is not the meaning of our scriptures. See how important it is. Therefore, if we are functioning in this world, we have to have a guarded freedom. And therefore, act we must. But how? Karma brahmodbhavam viddhi. We must lead our life according to Brahmacharya ashram, Grihastha ashram, Vanaprastha ashram, Sannyasa ashram, according to in which field we are expert. If we are having a wonderful understanding and brain, follow the path of knowledge and finance, etc. If our brain, like my brain is, suppose somebody says this much cost, this much, very good. Now if you ask me to compare, I cannot calculate the rate for anything. The mind doesn't function. Now if such a me wants to become the head of the financial institution, why? Because I belong to that party. Then I am going to take the nation to the dogs. Therefore, according to our abilities, whether I have got the thinking ability or the leading ability or the wealth or the trade ability or the serving ability, whichever way we are, work in that field in a creative manner and grow spiritually. In the 18th chapter, Bhagavan will tell us, Swakarmana tam abhyarcha siddhim vindati manavaha. When we are functioning in this world with the proper discipline in such a manner that we grow, along with us others also grow. But when this does not happen, the society becomes chaotic. What has happened today in our country, because of these funny policies of reservations and concessions that has started taking root in South Africa. I have been going there regularly. During the time of the white rule, the rand was so rich, comparable to dollars. There was law and order situation. Everything was so beautiful. Now, because of this so-called freedom, it is given. All those people who have never seen 100 rands at a time in their hands, they are now getting, because of their own rules created, 30,000-40,000 a month. Immediately BMW comes. And as regards functioning is concerned, totally zero. The result is, there is no law and order situation. The rand has gone to dogs. There is no life. Every time there is fear. People, when they go in the car, even that time on the crossroads, they keep the windows locked inside. They will put their hand and take away the things. What is that? Freedom. Think. Therefore, friends, this wrong philosophy of supporting the people by giving concession is the cause of destruction of any society. Support people by making them confident to work and earn. If I don't know whether I told you about one Gujarati girl, I adore her. I met her in USA. She is lame. And one day when she was here, maybe 12th standard or so, she got up in the morning, suddenly legs became lame. Whatever may be the reason. She could not get down. And cried, shouted, Mom, and this is what is happening. And she could not. Cried for 2-3 days. And then she took a resolve. Am I going to cry throughout life or what? It is so, I have to accept it. She studied all, went to other countries, and there she is doing such a wonderful job, goes everywhere with her wheelchair, puts in the car, and she is independent. Otherwise, हमारा हाथ टूटा है, 10 पैसा दे दो, लगाओ एक. No self-dignity, no self-respect. And this is created by the wrong policies. This is how, friends, it is so necessary that if we really want to achieve something in life, karma brahmodbhavam viddhi. Let our life be self-discipline, keeping in view not only the immediate gains, but the gains in the long term. Those who talk in terms of the immediate gains, they are the enemies of their own existence. Nobody can help them. Therefore, Karma Brahmodbhavam Vidhi. Why give so much importance to the scriptures? Because Brahma Akshara Samudbhavam. Because scriptures are not written by any particular man addressing to any particular community. Like the science of medicine is not written only for the Christians, only for the Hindus, only for the Mohammedans. No, the science is meant for everybody. Similarly, the scriptural texts are not addressed to a group of people. When we go to, let us get ourselves operated. Suppose I have to get my heart operated. So, what I will see in that doctor? What is your gotra? I am to Baba Bharadwaj. What is your gotra? My gotra? Nasruddin. We don't care for that. We want, he is an efficient, qualified, perfect doctor. That time all other differences disappear. In the same manner, scriptures, Vedas they are not such cheap things meant for dividing the society, and therefore it is only in the Vedas that you come such a statement. After having known the truth and the reality, Vedas become redundant. Who can say that? Those who are talking about the truth and the truth alone. Therefore, Brahma Akshara Samudbhavam. And therefore, whenever we lead our life with the scriptural injunctions, self-discipline, keeping in view the prosperity and the goal for all of us together, if ready to sacrifice, then alone we can put lot of efforts and generate wealth. And when there is a lot of prosperity, then alone life is worth living. Total thought. And this can happen when this thought is translated into action. If this is not translated into action, it cannot happen. Tasmat sarvagatam brahma nityam yajne pratishtitam. Therefore, whenever we are functioning with this philosophy in our heart, then that time Brahma, the reality, is functioning through us in every activity. Whatever we are doing, it is the Lord who is functioning through us. And when the Lord functions through us, the selfishness and the petty things will never disturb us. Whenever small little petty things disturb us, understand it is not the divinity, but it is the devil which is functioning through us. Tasmat sarvagatam brahma nityam yajne pratishtitam. Therefore, these two verses give us a most beautiful exposition regarding the prosperity in life. Now the other side I'll tell you. Actions remain the same. If we change a little bit of angle, you must have seen, the three-dimensional pictures. Once I went to Ahmedabad Management Association, and there was one picture framed on the wall. Only flowers, without any meaning in that. So I said, what's that funny thing? Looks like a border of a sari. What is that? He said, Swamiji, if you can find out what is that, then I'll appreciate you. I said, really? So I went there, I stood as still my mind. And immediately I saw what is there. I said, hey, it is written Om. He said, how do you know? I said, it's a very simple thing. When you don't see anything, then you see really something. See? It's a very simple technique. He said, Swamiji, I'll appreciate. He took out a book from the drawer. About 100 pictures. He said, I'll appreciate if you tell what it is. I said, start writing down. Again I said, started telling one by one, 2, 3, 4, 5. He said, stop it. Do you know it by heart? I said, no. It's very, very simple. If, when we are functioning in the world, attention is on something higher, the same activity will liberate you from the bondage of action. So, when the karma is done to achieve prosperity, that is one way. Second is, the karma is done with a view to attain liberation from the activity. Both things are possible if we know the technique. In the 5th chapter, Bhagavan will tell us, Yoginaha karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atma shuddhaye. The yogis, the wise people, function in this world not only for the betterment of the society and the world, but the betterment and the society of the world becomes a byproduct if every additional act of ours is purifying us from within. A purified person can perform better than a selfish man in this world. See? The saints and sages, they have been working in this world incessantly from the time immemorial. How much contribution they have given to the world? Have any one of them claimed? Never claimed. Because through the process of activity, they have purified themselves so much that they became the right instrument through whom the Lord could execute His plans. Take a simple example of today's world. You might have heard the name. One Amma, she is from Kerala. She is called as Ammachi. A Kerala girl, totally illiterate, and she has been so much dedicated to the Lord, and throughout her childhood working like a labor in her own house. But every action of hers was directed only to the Lord. And a stage came in her life that those activities which would have created a frustrated individual leading to a suicide, same activities purified her so much that today she has become a fit instrument for the Lord to function through, and therefore such an illiterate Kerala fisherwoman is able to guide and attract millions of people all over the world. This is not any jadoo. This is a demonstration what Bhagavad Gita declares. See how simple it is. When we are able to thus utilize this philosophy of yajna, we are able to attain both abhyudaya and nishreyasa. Abhyudaya is material prosperity and nishreya is a spiritual attainment. Both are possible by the same technique. Therefore, Bhagavan says, yajnartham kuru karmatvam. So do all your activities with this principle of yajna. So first, this principle of yajna, sacrifice, living in a spirit of togetherness, will help us grow materially. Second thing, when we do the same thing, keeping in view the purity of your heart, you become a fit instrument for the Lord to function through. And third, you have nothing to achieve in this world, you have nothing to lose in this world. Who can be that? When it is ocean, the water doesn't gain anything by being in the ocean form. When it is a dewdrop, the water does not lose anything by being a dewdrop. In the same manner, when we attain a status where the loss and gain are equal, we have attained the infinite reality as our own being. And this is how the simple principle of karma, as told in Bhagavad Gita, is the only way to attain both material prosperity and spiritual growth. There is no other way. having told this, now as the technique goes, Bhagwan gives a comparative picture. In the 16th verse he says, Evam pravartitam chakram nanu vartayati hayaha aghayurindriya ramaha mogham partha sajevati. Evam chakram pravartitam. You are not asked whether you want to follow this lifestyle or not. This is how the world is made up of. See, once I was teaching the students, when the students come new, everybody has got some or the other hang up somewhere or the other. Somebody is caught up in excessive torturing the body. Monday fast, Tuesday fast, Wednesday fast, Thursday fast. And that is what they imagine, that spirituality means fasting. Therefore, I like Gujarati spirituality. Fasting means eat fast food and enjoy. Similarly, the South Indian fast is also good. You know, in South Indian fast, they eat everything except white rice. Today I am having fast. I can't take food. So I was worried. I said, my God, then how I am going to live? He said, Swamiji, but we take chapati, puri, sabji, aloo, pyaj, namak, mirch, masala. But then you say you are having fast. Yes, we don't eat rice. If that kind of fast is there, observe. Nothing wrong in that. So when the students come, they have some kind of obsessions. The first thing I tell them, look here, when the bell goes, you have to report to the dining hall and eat. Whether you want to eat or you don't want to eat, nobody is asking you a question. This is how it is. We are here to change ourselves. In the same manner, this principle of yajna is already set in motion. Evam chakram pravartitam. It is already well established in the total creation. Nobody asks to the sun, see, you have been working day and night. Do you want a Sunday holiday? He has to work incessantly. No holiday in life. Can our heart say, on Monday I will not work? No. Can our lungs say like that? No. Life is not breaks of holidays. Life is a continuous process of every day is a working day. Never take holiday in life. Very important. So, evam chakram pravartitam. And then the teacher says, Yaha na anuvartayati iha. He who does not fall in line with the laws of nature, he will be crushed. See, there is no choice. Can we say, suppose we are told that the laws of electricity are such that you should not touch the live wires or else you will be getting realization. So don't do that. But I don't believe. Why should I believe? Then try and create work for us. Isn't it? Death is the only act of ours, the result of which others suffer. We don't suffer, isn't it? You die and enjoy. Others suffer. Ab kaise le jaye? In the wrong time this fellow died. So, whether we want or we don't want, we have to accept the laws of nature. In the same manner, this principle of yajna is established in this world and we are left with no choice. And yet, if we do not accept, see, there are two types of sins expressed in our scriptures. One is called as the sins of omissions and second is called as the sins of commissions. Sins of omission is called as technically as pratyavaya dosh. Pratyavaya dosh means what? When you are supposed to do Sandhya Vandanam, if you do not do that, you get a sin. Suppose you are supposed to do the puja and after that take food, and if you take food without doing puja, you get sin. So this is called the sins created because of omission. And then there are second types of sins because of commission. You should not have eaten rice on Ekadashi. That day you ate, you have sinned. You should not have taken the pradakshina of Lord Shiva completely. You should go only up to a particular point where the water from the Shiva Linga flows. You should not cross that. You should go back and then do the namaskar. This is how the Shiva pradakshina is done. But if you cross the waters, you get a sin. So these are the sins of commission and the sins of omission. Bhagavan says here, those who do not follow these pravartitam chakram, these laws of life, these are the laws of life. So those who do not follow the laws of life, the teacher describes them. Who are they? First, aghayuhu. Agha ayuhu yasya saha. Aghayu means pap, sin. Their life is an embodiment of sinful existence. First, aghayu. Second thing, indriya ramaha. We all know Atma Rama, Janaki Rama, then Jagajivan Rama. He is another brand. He is Indriya Rama. He is leading his total life only for satisfying the ticklings of his senses. When we are leading every moment of our life only for the tickling of our senses, we are not worthy of being addressed as human beings. Indriya Ramaha. And the third, Mogham Parthasa Jivati. His life is in vain. Why the life is in vain? Because when we are given an opportunity, and if we do not utilize that opportunity to the best benefit, we have lost the opportunity. You have to grab the opportunity. It will not knock your door. You have to grab her. Now, this is the opportunity that is given to us by the Lord. That in this human form, you have the freedom of action. And through this freedom of action, you can attain the highest. And yet, you don't utilize this freedom. Therefore, Mogham Parthasu Jivati, you have wasted your life. It is something like, I'll give an example. Suppose by great difficulty, this example I gave you last time probably, with great difficulty you have got an appointment with the President of America for 3 minutes. With great difficulty. And you go there. Now only 3 minutes, sir. Now he is ready to give you anything. You go there. And after going before him, you forget this. That this is the best opportunity you have got. You can make the best use and grow really in your life. And you forget that. And because of the excitement and forgetfulness, you start touching here and there. And then suddenly you get your tamaku ka dabi. Click. And then he says, sir, what do you want? The president is waiting for you. No, you are nonplussed. So, tamaku in your hand. Chuna hai kya? Do you have the chuna? So the best opportunity we got in this human form, and after having been born as human being, what we have achieved? Ahara, Nidra, Bhaya, Maithunam cha, 4 things. Whole life what we have done, we have converted wonderful food into terrible garbage. Ahar, Nidra. We have wasted all the opportunities, all the time sleeping, include in the Satsang. See? Then Ahara Nidra. Third is Bhaya, fear. All the time leading life under the fear psychosis. Life lived under fear is death. आहार निद्रा भय एंड फोर्थ हम कितने और हमारे कितने भगवान जाने. Reproduction without control. If only these four things we have done in life, ahar nidra bhaya maitunam cha, Bhagwan will correct his mistake. Somebody has to correct. If we don't correct ourselves and make best use of this opportunity, then the Lord will correct his mistake. What he will do? I am sorry, I accept my mistake. Next life, you will be born as a pig. Ahara nidra bhaya maitunam cha, nothing else. Therefore, friends, this human form all of us have got, not only to attain the material prosperity alone, but it must be culminated into the spiritual eminence, and this is the dignity of our culture, our nation, our scriptures. Friends, if these both sides are not taken into consideration, we will end up in the Western culture. What is the Western culture? Prosperity plus perversion. Why perversion comes? Because prosperity is not guarded prosperity. Therefore here Bhagwan says, Mogham partha sajivati. He who has not utilized this best opportunities given to us, progress materially, no doubt about it. But at the same time, remember, this is not all. There is something higher to be attained. Without earning and attaining prosperity, if you talk the language of dispassion, it is Majburi ka naam Mahatma Gandhi. First, attain prosperity through these techniques, and then have the guts to give up everything and walk out and discover higher realms of existence. Then alone we have really lived to the dignity of human being. See, in Bhagavad Mahapuran, recently we are studying the Nava Yogeshwar Charitra in the 11th canto. There one topic comes about Bharata, who is the son of Rishabhadev. In his life it is said, he lived for so many years, ruled the kingdom, and thereafter he handed over everything and went into the forest for attaining something higher. Material prosperity can never give you peace within. On the contrary, if you have got all the comforts and nothing to do, you attain wonderful status of depression, ulcers, heart problems, then the blood pressures, bladder pressures, control here, no control there. All these are the diseases of prosperity. Therefore, prosperity can never fulfill you. That is why one of the most important thing our scriptures tell, give up the world after you have tasted the world. Don't hold on to the world. Before the world has to tell you get out, have the wisdom to leave the world and get out. It is something like you take, that sugar cane bits and put it in your mouth and go on chewing. How long? Till the juice is taken away. After the juice is taken away, unless you are an American, he will throw it. Isn't it? Americans don't throw it. They collect it and put it in their pocket. Isn't it? In the same manner, attain prosperity through action, cooperative existence, but have the wisdom to give it up and grow higher. Otherwise, this beautiful opportunity given to us by the Lord is wasted. Aghayu indriya ramaha mogham partha sajivati. He who is living life only at the level of the senses alone, he is not worthy of being called as a human being. After having said this, immediately the contrary picture to bring the point home, in the 17th verse, the teacher says, Yastvatmarati revasyat atmatruptascha manavaha atmannevacha santushtaha tasya karyam na vidyate. Sir, what you are telling, we have been listening because we have no choice. But tell us, don't we see many Mahatmas doing nothing? Like, many people have got these kinds of objections. These Mahatmas, they sit in the Himalayas, do nothing. How do you know they do nothing? Because we are worried. If somebody is at peace, we don't like it. If we have to run day and night, if the other person is happy there itself, we don't like it. Similarly, when we see some great Mahatmas are just sitting quiet, we imagine they are a load on a society. No. Now here, Bhagavan tells one very beautiful point. Arjun, this rule and the law that I have given you, it has an exception. Because without exception, the law is not true. That is what I was thinking. There has to be some loophole in every law. This is how the profession of the lawyers prospers. And the more intelligent a lawyer is, he is a holy person. He is able to see the loophole in every law, and this is how he is able to save the income tax for his client. And when you save the income tax of the client, then you are a good lawyer and a good citizen. Paying income tax is a bad person. So what is that exception by which I can sneak out? Is there any way? Bhagavan, there is a way. That's good. I thought as well. Now what is the way? 3 things Bhagavan says. Tasya karyam na vidyate. He is not obliged to act in this world. Who is that who is not obliged to act in this world? Could it be me? Everybody has very high opinion about himself. Could it be me? So Bhagavan says 3 conditions. First, yaha tu atmarati eva. Atmarati. There are 3 words. One is rati, atmarati eva. Second is atmatrupta eva. And third is atmasantushta eva. Rati, trupti and santushta. 3 things. What is the meaning of rati? He who is absolutely reveling in his own self does not require any company. Whenever we are seeking for company, we are bored of our own existence. Isn't it? Why we should seek company? Just sit like that. You get tired because you start facing the monster that we are within. Therefore, it is not so simple. Just sit quiet, do nothing. This is possible only under one condition. When you are reveling in your own being. In old age, one of the problems is the problems of loneliness. Why the problems of loneliness comes? Because they have not discovered how to revel within your own being. And who can revel within his own being? He who has discovered that I is the source of all the happiness in the world. There was a great saint in Vrindavan. Some of his devotees told him, "Sir, you have been staying in Vrindavan. We are going to Kashmir. Why don't you come with us and see the beautiful Kashmir?" He said, "You go and see, and it's fine. I'll stay here only." He said, "But why don't you come?" He said, "What I have seen and what I am reveling in, nothing in this world can be compared with. And therefore, practice is, although you are alone, should not feel lonely. Otherwise, even in the crowds, we are lonely. So, yaha tu atmarati eva syat." He who is reveling in his own blissful self. Second thing, yaha tu atmatrupta. Atmatrupta. He is totally content. So the first thing is, he doesn't require any company. Second is atmatrupta. He is not discovering fulfillment because of any attainment in the outer world. If I get this thing, I will be really, really happy. You know the mathematics of 99, Ninanve ka Ganit. If I get this much, I think then I will stop. There was one person, Swami Khandanji used to tell. He said, "Maharaj, I want to earn at least 5 crores. And then I'll jump into spiritual practice with full heart." So Maharaj said, "Okay, Bhagwan ki ichha." And by God's grace, he could come up to 5 crores. After it has come, then again he came, "Sir," he told, "I have become owner of 5 crores. But I think if I make it 10, it will be better." We have to draw a line. Thus far, no further. Then alone, atmatrupta. Otherwise, like he used to say, in this world, there are so many chana, the chickpeas, that your teeth will fall, but they will not be exhausted. If we imagine that we want to go and indulging and enjoy this world, it can never happen. Nachiket tells in our Kathopanishad, where he says, this world is like what? That Sarvendriyanam jarayanti tejaha. The more you indulge in this world, the more exhausted you become. You don't become happy out of that. And therefore, Atmatrupta, when we discover happiness, not by indulgence, but by withdrawal, such a person alone has freedom not to act in this world. And the third thing is, Atma Santushtaha. Atma Santushta means totally contained. There is nothing external that is required for the contentment. To give an example, I'll give 3 stages to make these 3 words clear. If I like, for example, Rasgulla, so I, being a Bengali, all the time will revel on the thought of a Rasgulla. बहुत दिनों से नहीं मिला. If I get it, it is so nice. So this is Rasgulla Rati, not Atmarati. And then Atmatrupta. And then I get the Rasgulla. So I eat. But I got only 1. If I can get 2, it is nice. I got only 2. They should give me ad libitum. Like a buffalo, they should allow us to eat as much. Okay, eat as much as you want. Atmatrupta. Are you satisfied? I would have been satisfied if this Rasgulla was followed by Sandesh. Something is still lacking. So, Atmarati, reveling by the thought of the worldly objects. Atmatrupta, happy by indulgence with the objective world, Atma Santushta, you no more want the worldly objects. These three stages, he who has discovered in his own self, he does not need to work in this world. How beautiful it is. Now Bhagwan's idea is to tell Arjuna, are you like that? No. And therefore, we all have to act. Now, after having told this, the thought goes further with direction to Arjuna. Why this man of contentment and self-realization, tasya karyam na vidyate, he is not obliged to work. But that does not mean he does not work in this world. So two things. We are all obliged to act in this world, and a wise man is not obliged to act in this world, and yet they are working in this world without any selfishness more than what we are working in this world. Tasya karyam na vidyate. For them, the karma is not a bondage. For them, karma is a freedom. How this is possible and what is the secret behind that is the next topic we'll take in our next class. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.